I wish I prepared the topic a bit more, but I not have just anxiety and hypersensitivity, I also have perfectionism and kind of depression, and I don't know. When I would prepare something, I would never be satisfied with it, and then I would go into my bed. What I wanted to say, I would never be satisfied with my prepared stuff, and so I would just go in my bed and cry all day, and then I would sit here and smile into the cam and still have nothing prepared. Cheers. Is there a different anxiety voice when it comes to go alone to a race in Germany or a track in another country? No. Definitely not. It's the same. To explain maybe from the start, anxiety for me is a form of social anxiety. I'm worried about what others thinking about me. So yeah, that's I think the most difficult part for me. I mean, it's so weird and so ridiculous to think what other things about me, because it doesn't matter. It never does matter what others think about you, but it's not logical for my brain, and I always worry about it, that humans think not good about me. There could be, I don't know, 10 people in one room, and 9 of them love me or think the word of me, and one is not, I don't know, think not good about me. And this one person I will overthink for years. I will remember this in 10 years and thinking, why? Why you was so, and what I could change. I mean, the answer is easy, nothing. Please, just never change because of one people that doesn't like you. That's stupid. But I would think about this in 10 years time. I have memories from my childhood as I was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, that sometimes comes in my mind, and I feel bad about it. There was, I don't know, we were on holidays with my parents, and there was something my mom bought, and it was, I think, damaged or broken or whatever. And sometimes I wake up and this memories comes to my mind, and I feel sorry that my mom was sad because it was broken 20 years ago. That's anxiety. So that's my problem. I'm afraid what people think about me, and I'm afraid about losing control. So when I go to a track I never was before, that's a problem for me, because I don't know where to go, I don't know what I can do, I don't know nothing. As I was the first time on track, it was back in 2020, my first media appearance, back in 2020 in Austria at the Red Bull Ring, for I think Freca and Formula 4 Italian, and I was so scared. It was my first media appearance. It was with COVID, so we were no spectators, just I think we were 15 or 20 journalists, nothing, not more. And I was so afraid to talk. My English was bad back then, really bad. And my problem is really that I don't know where to go. For example, Hockenheim Ring last event, because it is the closest in my head. I needed to go there by train. That's meanwhile a bit okay, but I'm always exhausted when I go to train, because I'm afraid I will miss my train station, I will miss my ticket or whatever. So I really get controlled about it to see what's the next station, what station are we were, so what station is next, and blah. I can't sleep, I can't work, I can't do nothing in the train because I'm so exhausted when I have to go out and change. I need really a big gap when I need to change the trains, because I'm afraid that we are too late and then I have no idea what to do next when I miss the train. What is stupid, because when it happens, I can think about it and I can do anything. I can do it. Something, that was the word I searched for. But my brain is so that it worked that I overthink everything. I have so many if scenarios in my head that feels real. I mean, the most of this never will happen. And these if scenarios are mostly the most worst version of what can happen. And it feels through the anxiety so deep that I really believe it and that I feel bad because of my thinking. And not because it happened, because mostly it never happened. So I lost my red line, but that's okay. So I was on Hockenheimring and at Paddock Park, but Paddock Park was a bit easier because I wasn't alone. So we stay with Hockenheimring at the moment. I came there, I searched for my Airbnb. It was terrible because I needed to work for a long time. It was 20 minutes or so. There wasn't the right house number on the house, what was really shit for someone with anxiety. And I think I rang the doorbell on the wrong side of the house, so I needed to see, but it was not the right number. But after 10 minutes I decided I just ring the doorbell there and ask them where I have to go when it's not the right house. And it was the right house, and I was so, why? You are the 14 and not the 13 like in the Airbnb description and stuff. But I found it, okay, all good. And then I needed to go to the track next day, and I'm so afraid to not find everything. So I needed at first to find the welcome center to get my accreditation and stuff. That was really easy this time, but sometimes I searched for hours. I think Nürburgring was really bad. But the problem at Nürburgring was I asked on the right entrance, but he didn't know that I need to go through there to the accreditation center, to the welcome center. That was a bit problematic, so I searched any other spots on the track, but I needed to go back there and go through this, but it was a bit stupid. I'm afraid to not know where I have to go, so I have the feeling that I lose my control or lose the control about everything. So as I was at Hockenheim and as I found the accreditation center, then I tried to find the right entrance or any entry to go in. I had a bit luck because I find very good, not marshals, but helpers there to tell me where I have to go, and then I found Paddy, so that was good. And the media center was very big, so I really find it. But I'm always afraid to not find a media center, and when I'm in, I'm afraid to not find the right room. That's so stupid, because I can ask, and I do this. I asked so many times people, and I'm still afraid to think about what they think about me. So stupid. So no, it makes really no difference if it's on my track, in Germany, a track in Germany, or a track in another country. Difficult it will be when on this other country the people don't speak English. That could be very problematic and could worsen my... Is this the right word? I don't think so, but you know what I mean. That could make it more difficult for my brain to overthink again. What when they don't understand me? What when I can't speak to them? When I can't ask them where I have to go? That could be problematic again, but no. It makes no difference. I have such a high anxiety level that it makes definitely no difference. If it's in Germany or another country. By the way, I'm sorry when I'm jumping so much. So when you have any questions about this, what I already told, and have a deeper question or so, just put it out. Do you also have these moments when you had an encounter with a person and that person did something that hurt you, maybe not even intentionally, but you always have that in mind, no matter if you're okay again and stuff? Yeah, definitely. I think that's also a problem of anxiety, that you remember stuff or have the feeling that someone said something that hurt you, but it wasn't that mean. So they say something because they don't think about how it can hurt you. And the problem is, I think that's okay, because they are not you, so they can't really understand what will hurt you that much when it's not When it's actually mean, I think that's a kind of different. When the person really know that it will hurt you, then it's just mean. It's just evil, evil. But that's because I think when the people that say something to you that hurt you, and the people know that it will hurt you, that's just a bad person. Sorry, but that's just a bad person. I mean, I don't know, when I know that someone is, I don't know, let's say a driver had a really, really bad race, and I go to him and say, oh yeah, I know ever that you were very bad in your car. You are not a good driver. That's just mean. That's nothing you can to say sorry after it, because that was just meant to be heard. So, is this what you meant with your question, or got I the wrong idea, the wrong turn in explaining what I think about? I mean, the most anxiety is, I think, really the problem, or the most social anxiety, that you have fear of people don't like you. And I know logical that that's stupid. The people don't have to like you. You have to be you when you're not, going to hurt someone. That should be, should be the base. But I mean, doesn't matter what people think, how I look, how I speak, how I don't know, be excited for something. As I was a child, I ever was a motorsport fan. I started with Formula 1 and then I got to Champ Car and stuff like this, and I was so hyped. I learned all the technical stuff and rules and everything that I could find. I knew so many things about the technical stuff about Formula 1 cars. That was crazy with, I don't know, 11, 12, 13. But it was not normal back then, especially in a village, as a girl, as a young girl. So I wanted to be like the others. So there was the time I stopped being excited about motorsport. I stopped to be excited. I stopped to be a fan of motorsport. I changed, and it was not right. It was not right for me. I never was like the others. I maybe was better in hiding that I loved motorsport, and I really had years I never watched one race because I wanted so much to be like the others. But after I came back to motorsport, I realized how wrong this was, how stupid it was. And I would never do it again. So we really need to learn to think, we really need to learn that it's not okay that others try to change us, or that we think that we need to change because of others. I know that's so difficult, because our brain does what our brain wants to do. That's a problem. But I think it's so easy to say, hey, I will now lose my anxiety. I will do whatever I want. I will go and I will try whatever I want. I'm always afraid. I will ever be afraid. But I learned that it's easier when I'm on a track the second time. I remember the first time Sachsenring last year. I done not really anything. I was so afraid. But this year in Sachsenring, I knew where specific places was, or where. And I felt that I was able to do more progress. I was able to go into the grid. That was something I never would do last year. But this year I was brave enough to go. And the problem is, I know in my head that I'm brave. I drive alone to racetracks with a train as a girl. I mean, I'm 32, but I don't look like this, so I'm a young girl. Maybe not the ugliest one. Go alone to tracks in a man-dominated world, on places I never was before. with drivers I talked never before. And I think that I'm very brave, logical. But my brain thinks, no, you aren't. My brain just show me what I don't do, or what I don't done, whatever. I'm not good in tenses. So the one time I was brave, I was there, I was in the pit lane, I was in the grid, I was in the pits. I talked with people, and I need to be proud of myself. But then my brain says, yeah, but you don't done this one thing that you wanted to do. And that's the thing my brain makes so big over all the stuff I done. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And the fact is that I'm not just have anxiety, the fact is that I have hypersensitivity as well. So I feel so much emotions around me that are not mine, but I can't decide, is it mine or is it this of the other ones? So I just feel so many more emotions and are so overwhelmed with it. Because I just can't say, is it my feeling? Is it my fear? Is it your fear? Is it whatever? So I just take it, feel bad, and the anxiety grows. You're more brave than me, so I think you're so cool. Thank you very much. But that's really the problem. I know this. I know that I can be proud of myself, that I reached so much since I joined this project, since I go alone to track, since I talk with drivers, since I know this is what I want. But it's not here. It's not here. Not for real. I mean, I can't eat when I'm on racetracks. The 5 days Hockenheimring, I eat nearly nothing. I came Thursday, eat nothing. Friday, I eat nothing. Saturday, I think I ate one pretzel. And Sunday, I had, I think, bread roll. Okay. That was everything I ate in 5 days. That's bad. That's really bad. But that's normal for me. I just don't eat anything. I think Paddock Park was an exception because, yeah, it was forced to eat. So we went to buy eat. So I bought eat and I was forced to eat. So that was okay. But mostly I don't eat anything when I'm on racetracks because I'm so exhausted that I can't eat. We had one more question, Samu. You asked, does the amount of noise, butter, overhelp annoy you in any way? Not really. I mean, we need to separate maybe the noises. I mean, the normal noises from the racetrack never annoy me. I love the sound of the cars. I love the sound of the paddock when the mechanics working on the car, when they, I don't know, start the engine or I don't know, when they work on the cars and whatever they do, when the people around you talk with each other and have fun making selfies, whatever. So I don't think so, but I have a problem with guys at the media center, like on Hockenheimring, when they sit next to you and watch any other sport program or whatever on their notebook while you try to work. That's a problem. And don't notice it that everyone in the room is annoyed of them. Because they think they are all white men with a lot of experience and they think they are the most important people or human being in the room and can do anything. That's not true. You can't do anything. But yeah, that's another story. But the most... No, I think the noises is not that the problem for me. I hate that kind of man. Yeah, that was really, really annoying, to be honest. But he was really thinking he was the man of the room and was, yeah. And what I noticed in the media center, I'm more connected to the not German journalist. So, what I wanted to say? Yeah, I'm more connected with the not German journalists because the problem is on German racetracks the German journalists know each other, so they're mostly in groups. But the not German journalists coming there are mostly alone, sometimes as a duo or so. So it's easier to talk with them because they are not in a big group and they are more open to have new contacts. That's interesting because I know more not German journalists than German journalists. But that's pretty okay. That's pretty okay. But that was something I noticed last time on track. So, as I was just speaking English in the media center because I just talked with the other journalist not from Germany, and I was so, wait, something is strange here. But that was pretty interesting. But yeah, my problem is really losing control and not knowing what I can do. I remember I wanted to go into the grid at Hockenheimring, and I was so afraid because I wasn't sure how I come into the grid. Sure, I could work through a box, but I don't like this because it's not my territorium. So I needed to find the right entrance. And at Sachsenring you have some paths between the boxes where you can go through with your media pass and through the persons that control the entries. But I had no idea how it works on the Hockenheimring. And I was so stupid, I really searched for vlogs how I could see how I can go into the grid. I watched on maps how it was possible to see if you can go from this side or from this side into the pits and then into the grid. And just think about it. The most people would just go ask people and just go through. And I was really checking maps, I was checking vlogs, I was checking old races when the interviews are done and then to see where they go back into the pits and stuff like this. Isn't this stupid? That's some stuff my anxiety, let me do. To not be stupid. But I think that's more stupid than just to go there and ask them, hey, I need to go, I want to go into the grid, can you say me where I can go there? So, that's so stupid, for real. But that's something I just do because of the anxiety, so. And the anxiety as well let me feel sick. I have very, very stomach problems when I go to a new track, or it just need to be motorsport. It's the work. It's normal places I go when I know there were people thinking about me or checking what I'm doing over the day or whatever. So I always thinking about what people thinking about me, and that's so annoying. That's really, really, really annoying because that's so stupid. But you have just the feeling that you overthink everything. You really have so many. Yeah, I don't know. You have all the if scenarios in your head, and they lead to the worst case outcomes, and you feel this. It's just thinking, but you feel this so deep in you that you really have the anxiety and the fear and the scare and the unwell feeling in you that you think it's a real emotion you need to have in this moment. What is stupid? It's just stupid, but you have it. And yeah, I don't know. You have not that end result you think about, but you feel it, and that's stupid. And mostly, you will never have this worst case end result. You just haven't it. I met so many awesome people on track. I found everything. When I was brave enough and, I don't know, get my heart into my hand and was just going and doing and asking people, it was always working. And I asked myself how often I need to do this until I believe I can do this. You know? I know that I can do it. I know it. And at the same time, I fear that I can't do it. It's so strange. Anxiety is such a shit. For real. About thinking the stuff that will never happen. Never. But you just keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and you have scenarios in your head. You have a whole life in your head that will never happen. But you have not just this one life in your head, you have so many lives in your head, and all ends with the worst case scenario. But another one. That's anxiety. And yeah, the most problem is what people thinks about you. There are 100 people in a room, and 99 of these people thinks the word of you. You are good for them. They like you. They loves you. But there is this one guy that doesn't like you, or that don't like you, and that's the problem. And that needs to stop. But it's so difficult. That's so difficult. I don't know if it's possible to really lose anxiety for real, forever. I don't think so. But I think it can maybe be better. It will never be good. I will never. I don't say never, because maybe there is a point I just go to the track and feel safe, because I know the place, I know the people, and I know what I have to do. That's something I noticed as well. When I have to talk with new people, with new drivers, I'm always afraid. To keep in touch with them is the most problem. I don't be a person that just goes straight into a box and talk to a human being. Hey you, I want to talk with you. I checking them out. I try to not disturb them. I try to not bother them. And that's sometimes a problem, because when it's a shy driver, or whatever people you want to talk, it could be a problem, because when they're shy and when you are shy and you never meet this point together, problematic. Problematic. But when you have this connection to a driver, then it's really easy for me, or it's easier. It's not really easy. I would never go. This word never. We delay the word never. It's easier, but I'm still a bit shy and anxious. I also think so. I think it can be better, but it will never go away, I think. Yeah. Especially when you have another new situation. So you can get used to a situation and you feel good and you feel brave, but then one small detail will change. And when this happened, you're again in a new situation for your brain. So you know what you have to do, you know what you can do, but there is something not fitting and you start overthinking again. So I don't know why our brain's doing this. Really not. It's so stupid. You have the feeling you are left behind. You have the feeling you run and run and run and run and you will never reach the goal, and you will never reach the other guys. They are ahead of you because they may not have that much anxiety like you, so they are just steps ahead, and you think, wow, I want to be like you. But you can't outrun them. You can when you're really, really good and when you really want and when you really train and when you do situations again and again and again. But then, like I said, one detail change and you are at the beginning again. So, also anxiety is super linked to how you feel each day. Some days, some situations will be easy peasy, even though you barely went through them before. Some days it will be a pure pain. Yeah, that's true. It depends on the day and how you feel on the day. And I have really, really good days, even on track. And I'm sometimes really, really I forgot the English word and the German word. Struggling being a motorsport journalist, because I'm not a journalist. I'm not going out enough or going out of me enough to just go to persons and just talk with them. I can do this when I forced to and when I really need to do. But not always. And then I have the feeling I'm not good. I'm not a journalist. I'm just bad in doing what I do. But again, that's not true. I'm just sensible and I just try to not bother and disturb someone. I just try to get used to them and to understand if I can talk to them or if it's too much. Sometimes that's a problem and sometimes that's exactly this was the driver's need. So that you say, okay, I know you don't want to talk with me. I give you 10, 15, 20 minutes and come back to you later because I know you need time. Sometimes that's really good because that's why drivers like me. Drivers like me. So because I accept when they need their time after a bad race or something like this. Sometimes it's a problem. So every person have their good and their not so good sides. So I would love to be a journalist, just go straight to humans and just talk with them and be, hey, I'm here, I want to ask you anything and please do a selfie with me, whatever. But at the other side, I'm like I am and I need to work with this what I have. So I start maybe slow, but I'm able to do or to work out a connection with the most drivers. So when we one time connected and we one time find our way to be together and how I can talk with them and how I can work with them, I know I'm really good. But the problem for me is the way to this. Until we have this connection. That's the most problem. But luckily we have stuff like social media today. So mostly I wrote with them before. So sometimes it's just taking the anxiety from me away when I can text them, hey, I'm there in, I don't know, 10 minutes. Are you there? Can we talk? And they are there in 10 minutes and I know this and I know that I'm coming. And my anxiety is more or less gone. Isn't this strange? But at the end it's again my scare to lose the control. And when I know they knew that I'm there and that I'm coming and that I want to talk with them, it's a bit of control the situation. And so I'm back to feeling better. Some tricks I learned in the last 2 or 3 years. We don't need to convince other people that we are enough. We are enough. And we are the only people that need to know it. I need to know that I'm enough. For me, because no one else counts. Just me. Just me. For me, just me should count in this way. Because I'm enough. I'm enough, you are enough, we are enough. So, any more questions? And there are always people that believe in you. And that's the good thing about it. Because that's all what we need. That's all what we need. We just need people that believe in us. That says us from time to time, you are enough, you are good, you are doing great. Sometimes it's all what we need. We believe in you. Yes, sometimes it's enough. And anxiety, depression, all this tells you that you are not enough. But that's not true. We are enough. We are enough, always. Okay, how I handle this on track. Sometimes good and sometimes not, I would say. Sometimes I have really, really good days. I just do whatever I want. I go to people, I talk to them, I'm brave, I do whatever I want, and sometimes I just... No, I can't talk with them. I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough. I can't today. And that's okay. That's okay. We have these days. Sure, you will after it thinking, you are so stupid, why you are not able to just talk with people, just words, just go to them and talk with them, and they have no time, they will tell you. Of course they will tell. Or will say. So just do it. But when it's not working in this moment, then it's okay as well. It's really okay. And I mean, my brain will always find situation to hate myself. So it's okay. But I really want to do more next year and to work harder on myself, to say again, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself because I'm good. And like I said, I know this logical, but my brain is just saying again and again and again and again that I'm not enough. That I'm not good enough. Hockenheimring, you missed this time to speak with Jess. Yeah, well, it was okay. She was hiding in her box, sorry. Or in her tent. That's okay. But I find the bravery to do any other things. That's okay, and it was totally okay for everyone. I was thinking before so about what they think. Maybe I stood in the way, maybe I bothered them, maybe I don't know. I shouldn't be there, I'm not a team member or whatever. But no one cared. No one cared. I just do and feel whatever I wanted. I was in it. It sounds wrong. And just done. Especially it's funny because it wasn't even your thing to control when she doesn't want to talk to people. Yeah, that's true. And I'm not the person that go into closed tents or whatever. I mean, it's their right to say or to show that I don't want to talk at the moment. I know that she is very shy. I know this. When I talk to her, she is very, very nice. But she is at the same time very, very shy. So she will hide the most time, and it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. And it's okay to let them the space. I'm not a paid journalist. I can take this freedom for me to say, I don't do this now, because I don't want to bother them. That's okay, I can do this. It's my free time, it's my passion, it's what I do because I want. So, you know? But I done so much at Hockenheimring. Like I said, I was in the garage and just not in the outside of the garage, I was in the garage and I was filming the preparing stuff, I was filming the driver switch in the box and stuff, and no one cared. No one of the team was worried because I was not a team member or whatever. It's alright, it's all okay. I need to less thinking. Overthinking is shit. Overthinking is the biggest shit ever. Maybe not the biggest shit, but you know what I mean. But I know at the same time that I'm better after I started streaming, not just in talking English. That streaming really helped me to talk in English, but also to be not afraid of too many stuff. So just talk. Just talk with people. I mean, when I'm doing YouTube records, as I done this in the past, you can cut stuff out. Here, well, you listen to it. Welcome to my life. It is like it is. I need to not worry about it. It is like it is. The life is not a cutted video of your best moments. It's everything. So I think I didn't just practice my English with the streams, I also practiced being less afraid and more open and more doing stuff. Talking, less thinking, just react to a situation that happens. Hello. I like it, and when others don't like it, bye. I'm not my clothes, I am me. And it's so easy to say this. And some days it's so easy to be like this, and some days it's just, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I just want to sit in the corner of my room and cry the whole freaking day. To the question how to be a motorsport journalist with anxiety on track. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not. I just try my best every time. I will always be anxious about new tracks, new places, new persons, new situation. So many things in my head. I overthink what could happen. So many scenarios, so freaking many of them. And not one of them will actually happen because it's mostly the worst case scenario. Mostly, it's amazing. But in the situation, or just start some days before, I will worry 3 or 2 days before. These 2 or 3 days before I go to track are mostly the worst. I have so many if scenarios in my head 2 or 3 days before I go to track, and it's all a worst case scenario. What is when this happens? What is when this happens? What is when this, you know. And when I start the day, when I go to the track the first day or to the place, when I started the day, I calm down. When I go to the train station and drive with the train, I'm still exhausted, I'm still afraid, I'm still anxious, but I calm down because I have something to do. And when it's just working. And when I'm in the situation, I always think too much, but I'm much calmer than the 2 or 3 days before I started the adventure. So my anxiety level on track is here. Way too high, but my anxiety level 2 or 3 days before the event is up to the sky. So, you can't believe it. I'm feeling physically sick the days before. Really, really sick. And then I go and try to handle all the stuff as best as I can. I'm still anxious, but it's even better than the days before. And then I'm anxious the whole event, and then I go home. And when I'm home, I realize how awesome the event was. The racetrack, the drivers, the car, everything. And I'm starting to be sad about it because I was not really enjoying it as I should because I was anxious. And that's so stupid, to be honest. That's so freaking stupid. So yeah, I just handled it to try to do the best out of situation. I was ever good in improvising, to improvise there. And I know that I can do it. I can do everything when I want. I can do it. I just don't believe it. And I'm so hyped to go on track next year. To progress even more as I am at the moment. And I want to go. I want to show them all that I can do it. And that I want to do it. And that I'm great. And that I'm pretty good. And I know when I go to track next year, I will ask myself, I know that I go to the first race next season and I again on the point that I get the anxiety and be down the 2 days before. Even I know that I can do it. But that's anxiety. By the way, that's something I have very, very, very bad anxiety. But when it's about to sleep on places with Airbnb stuff or stuff like this, I'm not afraid at all. The most think, aren't you afraid when you sleep on strangers' houses? No, I'm not. And maybe that's stupid. But I'm not. That makes me no fear. Never. So I just go through the city, the village, the forest, whatever in the night. I'm not afraid. Maybe that's stupid, but that's something my brain just thinks, hey, yeah, we can handle it, doesn't matter. Nothing will happen. What is this about? I'm anxious about everything, but sleeping on strangers' places? Yeah, doesn't matter, hell, welcome. Did you always have anxiety? You mean overall, but or in general, or on a special topic? General. I would say yes. I was always a very, very careful child, and I was always thinking, even in kindergarten and in preschool and school in general. So I just remember overthinking stuff. So I would say yes. It's difficult to say because I can't remember any of my years, of course, but when I think about the time in kindergarten and stuff, I was always one of the careful kids, one of the kids that thinks first and do then stuff. And I always overthink stuff as I was a child, so I would say yes. I would say that was one point that shows the anxiety in an early stage. So yeah, I would say yes. Sounds a bit strange, but yeah, I would say yes. The question is, an interesting question is, so is it something you can have since birth, or is it something that you raise with your age? So what was the reason why I got anxiety at such a young age? Was it my parents? Were they too careful? Or, I don't know, too protective? I couldn't tell, to be honest. I really couldn't tell, so difficult question. I think it depends. For me, it developed later life, for example. Maybe there was a point I got anxiety, but I can't remember. I just can remember that I always was a kid, very silent, very careful, very overthinking. So I just know this, and I have really, really early memories where it was like this. So maybe it's developed out of the hypersensitivity, what I definitely have since birth, because yeah, I have no memories. I never felt all the emotions around me. As I started, that's another anxiety point. As I started streaming, I was so afraid to pronounce names wrong. And I'm so sure I ever pronounce names wrong. But at the end, it doesn't matter. When I pronounce names very, very wrong and people don't like it, they will tell me. That's okay. But that was a point that I not started streaming earlier because I was so afraid to have problems to pronounce names or to see in a nickname the name I can use. Sometimes there are, I don't know, VRXT blah. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You're confident enough to stream, which means your anxiety is probably better than mine. But streaming is easier for me because I don't feel your emotions, because you are behind my screen and I'm alone at home. So that's easier for my anxiety, as when I, for example, be on track and need to talk with people and have people around me because I feel their emotions. So, and can't decide if it's my own emotion or if it's your emotion or if it's his emotion or whatever. So streaming is much, much, much easier for me than talking in front of people or around people. So yeah, and I worked hard for it. I'm not there where I want to be when I'm on track and talking with people and stuff, but I work for this. I was working very hard. This year, especially this year, I worked very hard to come on this point. But yeah, this year especially, I worked so hard to get out of me and to do so many stuff, and I know I was successful because I done so much stuff this year. And I knew, and I know that next year will even better when I work again and work harder again and try so much stuff that I was thinking 3 years ago that was never possible. What I done this year, I would say last year I would never say it would be happen. That I would stand in the grid, I would stand in a garage and film drivers while they prepare for a race or the driver switch or whatever, talking with drivers. That drivers recognize me when I come to their tent or their garage or whatever. Hello? Hello? But to be honest, I met some drivers that had anxiety too, and that's not easy as well. So when they need to speak with journalists and stuff like this, and I see them sometimes really struggle to do this. They really need to be forced to do it. So yeah, it's never easy to have anxiety. It doesn't matter which part you do or which part you have in this motorsport world and in the normal world. So anxiety is always difficult to handle. And like Samu said before, there are good days and there are not good days. So. And my anxiety and my depression is like, oh, you have a good day, you are with friends, and 2 hours before the event ends, I start thinking, okay, you was very happy. Something very, very bad will happen now. Yeah, you had a good day, let's crash out, let's crash you, yeah? And in the past I was thinking about why you don't let yourself be happy, and I think that's a very good question. I'm so worried that something bad will happen when I'm happy, that I believe that I can't be happy, that I'm not allowed to be happy because it will crash me later. That's the worst part of anxiety. You feel happy and suddenly 180-degree change with emotions. Yeah. And I think this will happen again. I really try to pass out then when this happens, so that I can lose this again, because I want to feel happy and I want to feel good when my friends are here. What are your techniques against anxiety? The problem is, the days before, more or less nothing. I really just have anxiety and sit in a corner and be paralyzed. I think that's the most worst thing at the beginning, the 2 days before the event, because I'm paralyzed, I can't do nothing, I just sit in a corner. Mostly I pack my stuff 2 hours before I need to go, or 1 hour before I need to go. Not really to recommend. When I can do stuff, I try to prepare myself, like I done at Hockenheimring, as I try to know where the entrance to the grid is, or to the pit lane into the grid. So as I searched for maps and for vlogs where I could see maybe to do it, but I have not real techniques. I'm not good in mediation or stuff like this. I'm not good in breathing, so in deep breathe in and breathe out and stuff like this. I'm very bad. Or in counting or whatever. That's really not mine. I'm very bad in it, so I have not real techniques. The days before is really just being paralyzed and try to not die. And when I'm there on track, I just try to do stuff. I just try to get out and just to do stuff. Or when I need to talk with people, I try to write them on social media, or when I have on WhatsApp that I'm there in, I don't know, 50 minutes or so. I just try to write in are you there? Can I come over? Is it good when I come over now? Or so that I don't work through the paddock and feeling lost all the time because no one wants to speak to me. Yeah, that's stuff I try. But I have the feeling it never worked out for me, so I not really have any technique. Maybe it could be good to have one, but I need to find it. But the best technique for me is mostly starting the first step. Because when I start working and doing stuff, I get calmer. So yeah. That's why the 2 days before the event are the most worst one. Because I can't do anything. I can't start 2 days before to go to a racetrack. I can't just do it. So when I'm starting my day, when it's actually the day I have to go, my anxiety level is just a bit lower, or starting to be a bit lower. So always too high, but it's lower. See where you're coming from, what you mean exactly. In which topic? We had so many topics today that I get lost in all of the possibilities that could be what you mean in this way. I am better with English, that I find the right words, or that I came this far from being too afraid on a racetrack to even go out, and now talking with people in the garage and stuff. Or like, what do you mean? But happy is not the correct word for you. Okay. I understand. Okay. I progressed in so many ways, especially this year. I think this year is really a big step forward, because I think I progressed in 2021 as well, but definitely not that much like this year. This year was proper learning, proper doing stuff, and proper being brave. So yes. Before I joined the project, I never thought I would be so close ever to racing. I get up this dream many years ago. After I lost, as we talked before before on this evening, that I lost my motorsport love for some time, because I want to be like the other ones and to be accepted and to be one of them. Yeah, I gave this dream up a long time ago, because I lost so much time at the end, and I wasn't thinking about I have any chance to come back to motorsport stuff, to go to racetracks, to paddocks, to be inside everything as a media person. 3 years ago, I wouldn't believe you that this could happen. Never. No, wait, 3 years. 3.5 years. Because 3 years ago I already joined the project. I would never believe this. But it happened. It happened to me. To me, not the most anxious people, but a girl that never believed it could be someone. Especially not a motorsport. A man-dominated world. Even for journalists. When I'm in the media center, I'm one of maybe 3 women there. That's crazy. And I love it to be there. I love it. And sometimes I'm thinking about, we are back on the overthinking stuff. What could be when I would never had quit my motorsport love back then? When I not decided to be one of them and just done what I wanted back then. I mean, it's useless to think about, because I quit my motorsport love to be one of the others, because I wanted to be accepted, I wanted not to be alone. But sometimes I think about who I could be today when I would follow this path. I know this today, but as I was 14, I just wanted to be accepted and have friends. And motorsport was nothing acceptable for a girl back then. So yeah, was difficult. What helped with my anxiety, and still helps now, is remembering that no one is really thinking about you, so you don't need to think about them either. Yeah, that's pretty true, and sometimes this helps me as well, but mostly not. But at the end, we all have different kinds of way to fight against our anxiety, and I think there is no way you just can say you need to do this and you will lower your anxiety level. Every person is so different. You will never find one answer to all of the different anxiety types you find in every person. But I like it that we have some input, what we can do, so to try out what helps you. So when you have anxiety and someone says you, hey, this and this helps me, try it out. It could help you as well. And when not, okay, but you tried. And you found out what doesn't help you, so maybe you find what can help you. And I think that's the way. Maybe you never find the real technique that helps you with your anxiety. But the most important thing is to not give up. You can have bad days, you can have bad weeks, you even can have bad months, but you're not allowed to give up. You need to come back. And when it's just a small step and you say, okay, I'm here, I just go outside today and, I don't know, buy some food or whatever, talk with one people outside, whatever. The big point is to never give up. Because that's not worth it. Don't let the anxiety win, because you are so much stronger. We are so much stronger than this shit. I have an unpopular opinion. I don't believe in anxiety. Every human knows what fear is. Everyone felt anxiety in life. Everyone is nervous. Everyone is weird or is feeling weird different. But I won't label myself as a person with anxiety more than every other person. That's an opinion you can have, but I think people with real anxiety would definitely disagree with this. So, living with anxiety is not a normal fear. So, it's difficult to explain when you never felt real anxiety in life. When you have the feeling you fell and you will never, of life, of so many stuff. For example, social anxiety, when you're afraid of what people are thinking of you. But when you're not just afraid, when you're so afraid that you stop breathing, that you stop doing anything, that you just freeze in your life. Yeah, life is always scary, yeah. But there are different types of scary. But to be honest, I'm very happy when someone has no anxiety. So I think it's difficult to explain when you really never had the anxiety level of us maybe. I'm not afraid of everything in life, but I'm afraid of stuff. Yeah, but afraid and to have anxiety are different. I would say it like a German phrase, pair of shoes. I'm not sure if it's working in English as well. I'm afraid of taxes. Yes. I'm paying rent. But afraid and anxiety are not the same. Definitely not. But I think it's pretty difficult to explain it when you're not know it or when you not feel it. So yes. But at the end, it's okay to not believe in anxiety. It's pretty okay, definitely. There's a difference between sadness and depression, but depression is often used quickly, you know. Yeah, I know what you mean, definitely. And there are some people there are just saying, oh, I have depression because it's kind of cool. So, I know what you mean. I think anxiety is a spectrum. My therapist said every human is scared, and I am really worried if someone is not scared of anything. But the thing is, fear is normal, and if you don't have anxiety, you can probably use the fear to become stronger or such. But anxiety usually keeps you from living your life the way you want to because of your head. Yeah. Anxiety is a mental health issue, while being afraid of something is just a normal thing. I think you can delay the question mark because I think it's pretty good in explanation. For me, as I know what anxiety is, it's like a heavy pound on your feet that throw you underwater and you have no time to breathe anymore and you will freeze and you will drown while your anxiety is so heavy that you can't do anything. You're just frozen in time. You sit in a corner and you can't doing anything because you are so afraid or so anxious about doing stuff. Depression and anxiety are sometimes pretty similar, but at the end it's different. That's so difficult to explain, especially in English. For me, it's always this tiny voice in my head telling me mean stuff about myself, and the more I try to make it shut up, the louder it gets. Depression and anxiety are often linked, yes, but not always. Yeah, that's true. And I think many people get depression because of anxiety. And then it's a bit of a mix-up. The reason why I couldn't act is because I always think of my next move and solutions to my problem. That's this overthinking stuff, that you have so many if scenarios in your head, what could be, and you always think about the worst case scenario. Your voice isn't thinking about something positive, it's always the search for the worst case scenario that could happen. And this in hundreds of ways, for one scenery, for 100 ways. And you feel it so deep in you that you can't do anything because you just think about the worst stuff that can happen. And it's the only outcome your anxiety and the voice in your head is telling you. There's nothing that it could be positive or this it could be good. And that's definitely the problem. One strange thing I noticed is that my anxiety got so high during exam. I hated university that I stopped being afraid of anything, nothing bothered me anymore. That's not a good sign. When you stop bothering about something or anything, that's a really bad sign. Because you got over a point that is something important to you, that you care about something. That's worrying, to be honest. That's not good. That's really not good, and I hope it gets a bit back. I mean, anxiety is shit, of course, but when you stop worrying about everything, you have a problem, definitely, unfortunately. Because you just said goodbye, and when you stop buffering or worrying about anything in your life, you said goodbye to your life, and that's not good. The point is way too high. This point is way too high. So I hope you got back to a point to at least worrying and bothering about something in your life. And it's not funny, why I'm laughing, I'm sorry. But yeah, guys, I would say that was a really cool stream. I appreciate everyone in the stream. I appreciate the new follows, corrupted and etc. All the chats, all the stuff, I think we have some input we can use for a video I cut. Because we are so close to the 4 hours, I will maybe stop the stream here because I need to watch it all. So it was really cool. I will definitely do another just chatting stream again because it's really cool. Bye bye and thanks for everything. I love you. The cats love you too.